So we're joined from a shipyard on the coast in Charleston, South Carolina, by Toot herself, 2017 graduate of Velma Jackson High School, member of the Velma Jackson Hall of Fame, Shannon Sims. We thank you so much for joining us with our college and career readiness class. I got a room full here with me at Velma Jackson. We're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County schools: Rosa Scott, Madison Central, Ridgeland High School, Germantown High School, the Academic Options Center, and our YouTube channel. We're currently in the supply chain and transportation career cluster, and you have a big role in that. So we can't wait to hear about all the things you're doing on the big truck. But before, just tell us a little bit about your experience at Velma Jackson. 2017 graduate. You played multiple sports, involved in multiple organizations. So just tell us a little bit about that because you did such a great job of being involved in school when you were here.
I did. I had fun. How are y'all today? Good morning. When I was at Velma, I was mostly bored. So I wanted to get away from the school. So I joined all the clubs I could join and played all the sports I could play. And it was all about just getting away. So every bus that left the campus, I wanted to be on it. I am a truck driver. I haul drive in. It's 53 foot. Um, I currently I'm hauling hazmat. I'm at a shipyard and actually I can show y'all, I think. How do
Oh,
I flip
cool.
the camera? It's a lot of foot traffic. How do I flip it? How do I flip it?
I don't know what kind of phone you have. You got to hit the if you go to the pull the camera up and hit the arrow buttons that should turn
Okay,
it
I
around.
see it.
There we go.
Okay.
Now we got it. Oh,
So
cool.
here's the ship over here. It's a lot of foot traffic, a lot of pallet jacks and forklifts and stuff coming through here.
Wow.
I gotta wear my safety vest, a lot of that. But so trucking is really essential and trucking is essential to everyday life. Everything you own has been on a truck at one point in time, from shoes, your cell phone, just everything. Um, I remember when I got into trucking, I saw this poster and it had like the breakdown of if trucks were to stop.
Oh yeah.
And it was like in like the first 24 hours, hospitals would lose, like they would run out of essential things like syringes. Um, Cars will cease to, drive because gas isn't flowing and diesel isn't flowing. Um, After about, I think it was like 2 to 3 days, there will be a food shortage and chaos will start to ring because people would be trying to hoard, kind of like in COVID. Um, so trucking is really essential to everyday life. Um, I feel like I'm sorry, I'm trying to multitask.
No, you're good.
Um, I feel like I've hauled just everything from Walmart to Home Depot. I've hauled food, I've hauled fruit. Um, I've been hauling a lot of chemicals lately. I have no idea what they're for. I just haul them. I've been into all 48 connected states. Um, I I enjoy it. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and you have a dog that travels with you too, which is kind of cool. Um,
I do. He's not with me right now though.
but one thing that I just cringe when I hear kids say, well, they're here at Velma Jackson or wherever, and say, well, I'm just going to drive trucks. That's easy. And I'm like, first of all, well, I don't know why you're saying just because it's an extremely important job. But
It
second,
is.
not just let me get behind the wheel and start driving. There's so much involved in it. Not only, first of all, I always say this, and I'm joking, but I'm serious at the same time. You got to pass a drug test, and you can talk about I can do this, I can do that. They're going to test you, and if you're using drugs, they're going to catch you, and then you're
Yes.
losing out on all the money you could have had. So this is probably the most drug tested job on the planet. So you can talk about all the things you ought to be able to do, but you're not going to be able to drive a truck if you're testing positive for drugs. The second thing,
Not at all.
is you've
Hmm.
got to have some customer service skills. You can't be somebody that didn't, you don't want to talk to anybody. You can't be rude. You can't have an attitude because when you show up with your load, you are the face of the company. And if you're a
Exactly.
jerk, they're not going to want to help you. It's going to take you a lot longer. And the longer it takes you to get a load, the longer it takes before you can start making some more money. So talk about the
Exactly. Yeah.
communication skills that, and you were always a great
There
communicator student. But when you
there
get there
are
and you
a
show up,
lot. I'm sorry.
you've got to be able to talk to people.
You do. There are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to trucking. I personally had a lot of them. When you get to these shippers and receivers, it's smiles. It's, hey, how are you? What do I need to do? You can't be rude to these people. These people will delay you. Any delay is money, literally. I've had to sit at it wasn't my fault though. I've had to sit at a shipper for it was like 16 hours. You know how many loads I could have delivered in that time? It was it was horrible. I slept there. And then they don't let you use the restroom. I had to use a porta potty. It's not fun. But there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to trucking because I had that one. I thought I wanted to be by myself. I thought I was gonna be by myself. I don't have to talk to nobody. That is not true. You have to talk to people on a daily. You gotta you can't just like driving. Um, it's drive. It's a lot of driving. You're driving 11 hours a day. It's a lot of being alone too. You have to be mentally strong. I didn't have days where I can't do this. Um, that's why I got my dog. That was my companion. Um, you, it's it's a lot of other misconceptions too out here. I've passed some really bad accidents, like just like, oh my God, I'm praying they're okay. I've seen accidents happen in front of me. You have to deal with people on the road. It's a-holes out here. They cut you off, they get in front of you, want to slam on brakes and brake check you. Do not do this when y'all start driving. Do not mess with trucks like that because this is an 80,000 pound missile. 80,000 pound missile. That's how you need to think of a truck. And we
Wow.
travel 70 miles an hour. So think of an 80,000 pound missile traveling 70 miles an hour and you hopping in front of me braking. It's Yeah, we're gonna drive through those little cars.
And another thing I think is misconception is the amount of time management involved. Companies are paying a lot of money to have things delivered on time. And if you're going to make excuses about you overslept or you're tired or it's raining or it's snowing, people are still paying
Well,
for things to get there, and people's lives in some cases could be at stake because you can't get things on time.
that's true. That's absolutely true. But I can say if it's snowing, I'm not moving. I'm not. That's no. Uh-uh. Now, rain, there's no excuse. But if it's snowing, I'm not finna move. I've been in some really my first winter on the road, that was fine. But my last year, oh my God, it was horrible. I got stuck in so much snow and it's I didn't skid it, thought I was finna wreck. I immediately pulled over. I don't play with snow. I do not. But waking up late, not an excuse. Um, oh, I thought it was this time. No. If you're a lot of these places, if you're late, they're not gonna unload you. I know Amazon, for instance, if you're not 30 minutes early, they're not gonna unload you. You're gonna be
Dang.
stuck waiting until they get all of their other appointments out, and then they'll try to fit you in. But yeah, appointments are really crucial. You have to make them.
Yeah. And now I did want to talk about because when you left high school, you originally went to Mississippi State,
Yes.
and you have kind of mixed feelings about that whole experience. And we have a lot of kids here that are still deciding whether or not they want to go to college. And just talk about that experience and how that kind of pushed you into trucking.
So when I went to state, I originally went to Mississippi State for the School of Architecture. I wanted to be an architect. I still kind of do, but I kind of chose schools wrong. So Mississippi State is the only school in Mississippi that has an accredited architecture program. Because I think Southern Miss has something, you know, involved with that. Um, I experienced a lot of prejudice things there because architecture is it's a white man's career. So all of my professors were, white and I wasn't the type that when I heard certain things, I wouldn't shut up about it. Like they said a lot of stuff that didn't make sense. And I would sit there and question in a room full of people. I would be like, so you mean to tell me out of all this stuff you're saying? And I would just question it. So I clashed a lot with my professors. Um, I remember this one, I had a project and I was in a group. It was three of us. It was two white girls and me. And they came out of that project with A's, and I came out with a C. And my professor couldn't clearly tell me why I had a C. So it's stuff like that that I experienced that I just I was like, yeah, I'm a step back from this from a while. Um, I do regret not going to an HBCU. Um, I would have had to, I think the closest that had architecture was like Tuskegee, but when choosing colleges, don't choose a school for, because your friend is going over here, let me go be with them. Don't do that. Choose a school for yourself. If it's something you want to do it for yourself because you might not even talk to these people in the next year. I don't talk to a lot of my high school classmates. A lot of them I still do, but a lot of them I don't. I feel like, if it's something you want to do, you do it for yourself. If your boyfriend's going over here, don't go because of that. Because he gonna meet some new people too, and you're gonna meet some new people. So don't go to a school for, your family either. Because I had a lot of family members went to Jackson State. Oh, why you ain't go to Jackson State? Go to Jackson State. Nothing's wrong with Jackson State at all, but I'm just saying I got that question a lot because a lot of my family were alumni.
Yeah, and you had some
But
classmates that had a great experience at Mississippi State, so it could be a good
yeah,
choice for you. But it's all a matter of going for the right reasons. Because, and I think, and you said that. Look, I'm not. It's not a shot against Mississippi State. It just wasn't a good fit for you.
right, exactly. Because I still love State, Hell State,
Yeah.
but my experience there wasn't the
Now,
best.
and you talk about something being a man's world. Trucking for a long time was considered a man's only job, but
Still
we're
is.
seeing more and more women. We're seeing more and more women get into it, and I've had I meet a lot of truckers driving Uber, and I hear this that these companies are looking to hire female drivers for a variety of reasons. But I know that you've been very successful at it because you have these qualities that a lot of men aren't going to possess. So if women are out there and they're kind of like, well, I don't know if I should be a driver because, I'm a woman, there's a huge place for women in trucking right now.
There definitely is. Um, I hear on a daily, are you driving that big truck? I see plenty of people walking past looking like, no, she ain't drunk. Yes, it's plenty of women out here. I see women on a daily, and I still meet people that say they don't see that many women. I see women on a daily, and there is. I can say it's not easier as a woman. I still experience a lot of, I could call it sexism. I'll pull up at a truck stop and guys think I can't park, can't bag up. I'm like you can move. I got it. Um, Shippers and receivers. There's a lot of it's it's easier. I feel like for me because I see a lot of guys having trouble communicating with people. And they'll walk out, and the clerks will be like, "You just getting smart with me?" Like, no, you don't do that. But I've had guys. It gets kind of creepy out here as a woman too. I've had guys walk up to my truck. Um, I'm not even that's another story. That's another story. But as a woman, yes, there's a outlook out here. Training was difficult as a woman. I had male trainers. I had two, and then I had a female trainer. My male trainer didn't really shower. That wasn't fun. I was with him for 2 weeks and he didn't shower.
Hmm.
Um, it's it's as a woman, I can say I've had a different experience than what my brothers had. Because even when it comes down to showering, you have to pay for showers. But they told me, they said, go to the pump. And these people at the pumps, they'll have free showers to give you one. I remember asking a guy for a shower, and in return, he wanted my number. I was like, no, I think I'll just pay for a shower. 'Cause no. So, I mean, I can say you still experience stuff like that, but as far as actually the work, you're fine. I've seen women out here doing flatbed. I'll pull up like, go girl.
Yeah,
So yeah, women,
and flatbed pays more, but there is more work involved on the loading
it
side,
is.
tying
It
things down.
is. But I mean the flatbed trailer comes to like my chest. So I had a job offer. A guy called me. He was like, I have this position open, but it's flatbed. I said, sir, me and the flatbed trailer are the same height. I can't do that.
And
But
another thing I
yeah,
think that isn't brought up is that these companies invest millions of dollars in these trucks,
they
and
do.
women they're taking better care of them. If a truck's going to last longer and they know a woman's going to be clean, not going to be unsanitary, that's actually a very big deal as a company driver that you're not
They
destroying the
do.
property of the company.
Yeah, oh yeah. My last company, they had this shop rule. If your truck came into the shop and it was nasty, they wasn't finna work on it. So you would have to clean out your
Wow.
truck and, get it straight before they even looked at it. So yeah,
Wow.
that's another thing. You can get a ticket from DOT if your truck isn't clean.
Wow.
Yeah, if
So,
you have stuff just rolling over on the floor and yeah, you can get a ticket for that.
well, I do have some questions from the students, and like I told you yesterday, with the exception of one male, I have all females in here with me today, which I know you really like. And it's great,
Yeah.
and it's always great to see. I like showing them successful females, especially ones that came to the same school. But this first one
hmm
is Kayla Bullock. She's in ninth grade, and she asked, "How do you balance out your normal life and work? And do you ever have time to do things at home?"
That's a good one. Trucking is a sacrifice. It really is. I'm still on my schedule where I only go home once a month. So of course I don't be home that much unless I get a load going through. I'm not gonna be there. Um, it's a sacrifice. You'll meet a lot of these older truckers. They'll be on like their third or fourth marriage. They'll say, "Oh my, this number wife then took the house, so they don't have a house. They don't have a relationship with their children because they didn't spend their whole lives on the road." So it is a sacrifice. Um, I don't have kids. I'm single. I don't really have a reason to go home that often. So I'm enjoying it. I'm out here. I'm taking that sacrifice to pay for stuff. Like I'm trying to find me a house right now. Um, and then once I get settled, I'll probably find a local job.
Awesome.
But yeah,
I
it's
like
it's
this one.
definitely a sacrifice.
I like this one. This is Brianna Carson. She's in 10th grade, member of our band here. And she asked, when you're on the road and it's a, and it's a long multi-state trip, do you sleep in the truck or do you stay in a hotel?
I sleep in the truck. I can show y'all my truck at the end.
Oh,
I'll
go
show
ahead.
y'all.
Show you.
Now,
Yeah, go ahead and show us.
okay, so all right. This is my truck. I have a fridge. We sleep in the truck. We eat here, all of that good stuff. This is where I sleep. These trucks have a lot of storage. I
Pretty
cook
cool.
in here sometimes. I got an air fryer, extra blankets. Um, I just keep my clothes in a little suitcase. A lot of trucks have another bunk here where if it's two drivers, they'll sleep on that top bunk. Um, yeah, it's a lot of storage in these trucks though. A lot of it. I
That's cool.
have storage under my bed. It's right now it's a bunch of trucking equipment. I have a toolbox, all that good stuff under there. But yeah, it's this is where we spend most of our day. We wake up here. This is our office. We wake up in our office.
I like this one. This is Cameron Smith. And he asked, what type of truck are you driving right now?
So I'm driving an international. Um, they ain't really different because I've driven a Peterbilt. I was in a Peterbilt for a whole year. It ain't nothing special. I drove a Freightliner. It ain't nothing special. It's just, I guess, the preference. But this is a company that I work for. They have mostly international.
Okay. I
I
like
can
this one.
show
This is,
y'all the
oh, yeah, go
outside of
ahead.
the truck.
Oh, yeah, let's see it.
Oh,
Don't fall.
I'm not. Okay, so I have a deer guard on my truck.
Oh,
But yeah, it's average 18 wheeler.
I like this question. This is Michaela Burks. She's in 10th grade, one of our volleyball players. And she asked, how do you stay focused when you're on a long haul?
Ooh.
Oh, lost her.
Oh, can you see me?
No, I hear you, but I don't see you.
Boy. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
That's a good question. It does get it gets real tiring on long drives. I'm a Red Bull girl. I like me some Red Bull. I'll switch it up and try a 5 hour energy. Um, I stay on the phone a lot. I'll call somebody like, "Hey, I'm getting sleepy, talk to me, keep me up." But the best thing for fatigue is sleep. So if I just get
Yeah.
to the point where I'm like, yeah, I pull over. I don't play with that. Um, a lot of I've seen accidents on the internet where you can tell the driver just went to sleep, and they be pretty bad. So I don't play
Yeah.
with that type of stuff.
All right, I got time for two more. This is Deani Johnson. She's in 9th grade, member of our band. And she asked, what's the biggest challenges you face as a woman in the truck industry?
Hmm. I would say that's a good one. That's a real good one. I would say it's the sexism where it's like you're pulling in, you got these guys yelling at you, telling you to do this and this, but really you just want them to get out the way. Um, yeah, when guys see you out there, that's their first thought is, oh, she can't back. She's just driving this big truck. So I've experienced a lot of that where it's like, I don't really need your help, so just scoot over.
Well, you were the same way when you were you were a manager of the football team, manager of the baseball team, and you were the same way when you were the manager. Yeah, when you were yelling at the guys, you might as well have been another coach.
Yeah,
All right, all
like
right. I got one more. I got one more. This is Brianna Williams. She's in 10th grade, member of our basketball team and our cross country team. And she asked, "What's the biggest load you've ever taken?"
biggest. Ooh, so I drive a drive-in, so it's closed off. So whatever fits in there is normally what I haul. But as far as weight, it's the weights are different. I've hauled some pretty heavy loads. Some of them I can't go over 80,000 pounds with my tractor and whatever my load is. So I've had 3,000 pound loads to 450, no, not 400, it's 4,500, 45,000, 45,000. I think that's the main max because our trucks are normally are about 35,000-ish around
Dang.
there. So 30, I'm at 45, 44. That'll be like our max. Like this load was really heavy. It was these big old container and barrels of paint. I've hauled liquor loads that were pretty heavy. Um, bottled water. Water is heavy. I don't know. I've had some metal before. That was kind of heavy. Oh, they're telling me to move now.
Now, and that's perfect because we're almost out of time. And we thank you as always for taking time for us. And I speak for so many people when I say we're so proud to call you an alum of Velma Jackson. But before we go, just a couple things. You know,
Hmm.
I've got a room full of females, and you said there is a place for them in trucking. So if this is something they want to get into, why should they really consider it?
Well, so the job outlook in trucking for men or women is there. Every year, they're up to 70,000, new jobs, trucking jobs. They say they're coming out with these new trucks that are supposed to be self-driving. Listen, no, that's not going to happen. That's no.
Too much
Um,
liability, I agree.
it is. Trucking is there. The job outlook is there. Like I said, everything you have has touched a truck and is going to continue to. So for that reason alone, it's good money. Um, you do have sacrifices to make, but you know, every job does. But yeah, there's the job outlook. It's there. It
Yeah.
is.
Now, the last thing is, and I mentioned how proud we are to call you an alum, and I know Coach Meeks, Miss Taylor are all, they're all still here, just always speak so highly of you. But you're from the Camden community. You walk the same
Hmm.
halls of this school, sat in the same rooms with a lot of the same teachers, and you've become extremely successful. So obviously, being for Velma Jackson can lead to great success. So for these kids that are out Velma Jackson, whether they want to be a trucker or not, what can they do to follow in the footsteps of great alums like you?
I would say pick something that you love. If you're doing what you love, you'll always be happy. You'll go places. So pick something that you love.
Love it. And I know you got to get back to driving. We thank you so much for fitting this in your schedule. It's so cool to see all the stuff you're doing. Can't wait to see where you are next. And I hope you get your dog back soon to have your little buddy. But with Shannon Sims, all the way from Charleston, South Carolina, the girl in the big truck, Toot herself. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks.
I talk to you soon, buddy.